G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. In this video we're going to be summarising the lightweight distros and going through some of them, what we looked at, and we're going to pick a winner. So let's check it out. On the 25th of November I started off with Alpine Linux. Unfortunately, couldn't get Alpine Linux installed. There was a command line. Took me in a direction that felt like an Arch command line install, so that seemed to have been, for me, is going to take a little bit too long to work out, so I decided not to install it. Has a very respectable download size of 131.1 megabytes, so maybe that's something I can revisit. Now, these figures here, the views, were a week ago, I believe. So these figures were probably taken around about the 16th of Jan, around there. I just thought I would put the views in there because I found the views sort of interesting as well. As far as views are concerned, Alpine Linux is a clear winner there at 980. So there seems to be a little bit of interest in Alpine Linux. So I find that very interesting. So I may revisit that one and see if I can get it installed. Next, on the 27th of November, we had Antix Linux, Antix 19.3. And as you can see, Antix has many applications installed, probably just about everything out of the box except for Office Suite. It didn't have that, but it can be installed for 100 megabytes. And that's LibreOffice 7. You can opt for something more lightweight like AbiWord G Numeric, which would be a lot smaller than that depending upon your needs. Memory usage is 117 megabytes, and that's very respectable indeed. Now I do have a spreadsheet that we're going to go through as well. We're just quickly summarising these. So on the 1st of December we had Archbang, and Archbang was downloaded 853.5 megabytes. Didn't have a lot of apps installed, as you can see. Respectable memory usage at 148 megabytes, and has 211 views. Actually, I missed the views out on Antix, which was 500. We'll get back to that anyway. Then we moved on the 5th of December to ArchLabs. ArchLabs ISO was 786.8 megabytes. And it was 1136 megabytes, including installs. So that was probably updates and all that sort of thing as well. Memory usage 340 megabytes. Not a lot of apps out of the box, considering download size. And that had 229 views. BigDaddyLinux, Bodhi 5.1, 820 megabytes. Not a lot of apps out of the box as well. Still a respectable memory usage at 189 megabytes. That's pretty good. 320 views. And that was done on the 7th of December. Busted Dog on the 10th of December. 361 megabyte download. No Office Suite, but plenty of other things. Respectable memory usage at 112 megabytes. 335 views. Debian 10.6 XFCE, 728.8 megabytes. Had most applications needed out of the box. Memory usage 305 megabytes, very respectable as well. Not as low as some of the others, but still respectable. 408 views. Deviant Beowulf, 481 megabytes. Not many applications out of the box at all. Good memory usage at 199, 205 views. That's and that was uploaded on the 19th of December. Then we had Fossa Dog at 592.8 megabytes. Plenty of apps out of the box for that one, except probably a document viewer by the looks of it. It was uploaded on the 22nd of December, 188 views. And all these views were taken, like I said, on roughly about the 16th of Jan. Bearing in mind these distros were uploaded a lot later than the first one. EzeeLinux, 707.8 megabytes. And as stated on their website, they don't have many applications out of the box at all. It's make it your own. That's why it's called Myo. Make it your own. And that's the reason why there's not too many applications out of the box, and memory usage 140 megabytes, 242 views, uploaded on the 30th of December. Puppy Linux 9.5. We'll be talking a bit more about Puppy as we finish this summary here. Quite a few things out of the box, plenty of apps and system tools, memory usage. Surprised me, the memory usage on Puppy is 560 megabytes installed. It's got 430 views uploaded on the 3rd of Jan. I'm very surprised about the memory usage. I would have thought Puppy would be a lot lower than that. It's very interesting. Considering Buster Dog and Foster Dog, Buster Dog 112, Foster Dog 178. Not sure why Puppy has a lot more memory usage than the others. Q4 OS, downloaded at 730.9 megabytes. Yeah, that's the desktop install after install. So you've got to load a basic desktop, and as you can see there, anything with an F was the full install, and then with the B was the basic install, and we'll check that out. We'll go into that a little bit more. It's memory usage 250 megabytes, uploaded on the 6th of Jan. Then we had Runtu, which is based on Ubuntu, Runtu Lite 20.04.1, based out of Russia. This one was not too bad either, actually. A respectable memory usage, 212 views at that point in time. Yep, plenty of apps except for Office Suite. Then we had Slacks. Slacks didn't have many applications out of the box, but it runs from persistence from USB, 277.7 megabytes. So Slacks, 277.7 megabytes to download. Not many applications out of the box, but I'd have to assume with this working that from persistence on a USB, you would install the applications that you need. Probably not a bad little travel distro, Slacks, I must say. It's got 181 views, 250 megabytes in persistence and 683 megabytes installed to USB. So big difference there. And then we had Tiny Core uploaded on the 15th of Jan, 19.9 megabytes, no apps installed, based on the Linux kernel. That had 133 views, and I've only just started doing this summary not long after that was uploaded, Tiny Core. So that's a quick summary. So what we're going to do now is just check these out pretty much side by side or on the one spreadsheet. And there we have it there. And the reason I've done a spreadsheet is there is a little bit more extra information on this spreadsheet in the form of comments that you won't see just looking at it, but the ones with the red dots. So if we have a look at Buster Dog, this one here, I've got a comment here. Google Chrome is not installed, even though it's there. If you click on it, it opens in the terminal and it will install Google Chrome for approximately 72 megabytes. So that's not too bad considering Buster Dog's 361 megabytes to download. So I'll just quickly leave that up and you can pause it if you want to read a little bit more into that. Deviant Beowulf. This is an interesting one. LibreOffice was 296 megabytes to install. Calligra Office was 111. Install size for the following: Firefox, ESR, Calligra Office, Celluloid, Gedit, evince, GwenView, Quadlibet was 292 megabytes. The desktop was 52 megabytes, Xorg 41 megabytes, Update Alternatives was 15 megabytes, totaling 881 megabytes, not including the upgrade. So that was including Calligra Office on that one, but if you was to install GNumeric and AbiWord, it'd be even less than that, if those two are enough to get you by. So that can definitely work. Foster Dog, it had GNOME, MPlayer, MPV Media Player, and Play with MPlayer. So it had all those three there, and I think you'll find that that comment is the same. So they come under both music and video, I would assume. And the web browser, Google Chrome was not installed, and you click it. So that's the Foster Dog's the same as Buster Dog in regards to the 72 megabyte Google Chrome install. EzeeLinux, Nitrogen is a wallpaper changer. I just thought I'd put that there so I could remember that. Now Puppy Linux, quick pet install of LibreOffice is 220 megabytes. Otherwise, you've got ABBY Word and GNumeric in there already. Q4 OS, full-featured desktop install, 618 megabytes. Basic Q4 OS desktop install, 183 megabytes. So either way you look at it, you're over 900 megabytes. And there's the difference if you install the full. That's what you've got installed with the full. There are some extra apps and system tools involved in that. And music player is also Clementine available in the full install as well. And then the basic ones, that's all you get with the basic. So still not very economical in regards to apps really, Q4 OS, in regards to 900 megabytes and less. Run 2 Lite was surprising. I think it had an Office suite there. Install LibreOffice for 93.8 megabytes and install ABBY Word and GNumeric for 20.2. Besides the Office options there, it had just about everything else you needed out of the box and some other apps as well. So Run 2 Lite did pretty well as well, so that was a good suggestion. And then we had Slacks. Shares, it runs from USB, it shares code from Debian. So if you wanted to know what it's based on, it does share some code from Debian. That's the information I got from the website. And with Slacks, this memory usage here was, I think, when I mentioned that before, I think I got that wrong. It's 250 megabytes running from the live USB, and under persistence, it's 683 megabytes. So once you've booted into persistence, that's upped by about 430 odd megabytes. That's very interesting. So let's just quickly run through the views on this to the current date. And the current date for me now is January the 23rd. Alpine Linux is up to 1149 views. Antix 534. Archbang 218. Archlabs 243. BigDaddyLinux 350. Buster Dog 348. Debian XFCE 430. Deviant Beowulf 223. Foster Dog 201. My Happy New Year is only 90. Fair enough. MyLinux 260. Puppy Linux 637. Q4 OS 241. Run 2 Lite 240. Slacks 243. Tiny Core 174. So as you can see currently, Alpine Linux, there seems to be a lot of interest in that one. I never expected that. Antix has a lot of interest as well. Debian, no surprises there at 430. There's always interest in that, and there's always a lot of interest in Puppy Linux. Which brings me back to my spreadsheet. I've had a few comments made about Puppy Linux. One comment was too bad it doesn't install on hard drive or on hard disk. I had somebody mention that they tried to install it, it didn't boot. So there seems to be an issue with Puppy Linux in regards to installing it to hard drive. Now, if there's any Puppy Linux experts out there, and I may even have to grab myself an old laptop or something and try and install Puppy Linux onto an old laptop and see how we go. So there's a couple of things I want to revisit. Alpine Linux definitely one of them, see if I can get that installed. And Puppy Linux to hard drive to see whether that actually works or not, because there's a few people saying it doesn't. So I'm interested to see if that works out. So who was my winner for the Lightweight Distro Challenge? What did I think was the best lightweight distro? Well, I think there's a clear winner there. Antix Linux for sure. Antix Linux, let's check it out. Antix. ISO size of 766.5 megabytes, except for Office Suite, and the most current LibreOffice 7 can be installed for 100 megabytes. You're still under 900. Memory usage is very economical, very respectable indeed. It has an easy installer. It's based on Debian, rock solid, no doubt about that. And the views has a lot of interest in Antix as well. It's not as much as Alpine. I think Alpine Linux is probably more curiosity than anything else, I'd have to think. But definitely, as far as installing is concerned, it's easy to install. Has the same installer as MX Linux. And look at that memory usage. And it has Firefox ESR and Dillo, which is Dillo web browser. Dillo is a minimalistic web browser particularly intended for older or slower computers and embedded systems. It supports only plain HTML, XHTML, and images over HTTP. Scripting is ignored entirely. Current versions of Dillo can be run on Linux BSD, OS X, IRIX, and Cygwin. Never heard of those ones, to be honest. But yeah, that's what Dillo is. It's a lightweight browser. It also come with the programming Geany and Vim as well. So I think quite a clear winner there, Antix 19.3, I have to say. Now, if we're looking for a runner-up distro, I think no doubt would have to be Debian 10.6 XFCE. Debian as well was a smaller download size than Antix. It came with LibreOffice. It's easy to hard install, and that depends on whether you've ever used a Debian installer before. If you haven't, it probably could be a little bit hard for newer users, possibly, if they're not used to that type of installer. And so that could sort of be hard for newer users, I would think. But looking up anywhere on the internet, you could find somebody that will be showing you how to install with the Debian installer. And once you've seen it a couple of times, it's not that hard. What's it based on? Well, it's Debian. I think somebody told me I put on there based on Debian, I think, on the video, and they said, but it's Debian. I thought, yeah, that's true. But it didn't come with any programming or extras in Debian 10.6 XFCE, but definitely everything out of the box for an everyday computing experience. Memory is more than double of Antix, but 305 megabytes, still very respectable as well. So those two, yes, both based on, one's Debian and Antix is based on Debian. And the views for Debian are very respectable as well. And there is a lot of interest in Debian, I must say. I'm not going to pick a third place. There's a couple of distros here that could possibly go in third place. But installing to hard drive is something that's questionable. Now, Buster Dog is a bit like Puppy Linux, and so is Foster Dog, but Buster Dog was the better one out of the Buster Dog and Foster Dog. That worked and installed no problems. This one had issues installing, and Puppy Linux as well. If I was going to select one out of these two, and they did install a hard drive, I'd have to think Buster Dog, with its memory usage being 112 megabytes, whereas Puppy's a little bit higher up there. And they do share some similarities in regards to applications, although Puppy Linux came with a QPDF view. There was no document view in Buster Dog. At 361 megabytes, an Office suite, LibreOffice at 6.1.5.2, 132 megabyte install. Still heaps of room for any other applications that you need to install. And it's easy to slightly confusing. It's based on Debian Buster. So it seems to me like most of the Debian, most of these lightweights are based on Debian. But yeah, it's very hard to pick a third place out of all those. So I'm very interested actually to have a look at Puppy Linux installed to hard drive, Buster Dog installed to hard drive, and this Alpine Linux. I want to have a look at that as well. I want to see if I can get that installed. Somebody said it's quite easy to install. I don't know, it looked like a bit confusing to me on the website, but I can try several things. Maybe do it I might just record it in VirtualBox, and then once I'm successful, I can transfer that install information to hard drive and see how we go with that and how it runs. So yes, a clear winner there, Antix, and second place, Deviant, both well deserved, I believe. And special mention here, I have to think Run2. Run2 is has got a lot of things out of the box as well, except for an office suite, which can be installed for 93.8 megabytes, or Abbey Word and G-numeric for 20.2. So you still, if you went with Abbey Word and G-numeric, you're still just over 800 megabytes, and it's got some extra apps. I haven't put down what those extra apps were. It's based on Ubuntu. It's an easy install, and it has very good memory usage. So that's another good one, Run2 Lite as well. So that's what I mean. It's very hard to pick a third place, but definitely these two here, Antix and Debian, are my number 1 and number 2 picks. So I've edited the spreadsheet to be in an easier to read format instead of having all the LibreOffice headings and stuff all over the place. So you can just pause that and check that out if you wish. So there we have it. The winner of the Lightweight Distro series is Antix. Second place, Debian 10.6 XFCE. What are your thoughts? Did you have different thoughts to what I have? Or do you agree with the result that I came up with? Be interested to know. Leave your comments below and let me know what your thoughts were. Were you thinking the same as me, or were you thinking something different? Either way, they're all pretty good distros, a lot of them anyway. Looking forward to the comments. And that completes the Lightweight Distro series. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found this whole series interesting and informative. Hope you enjoyed this video and all the other lightweight distro videos. And thanks for watching.